Welcome, everybody, here to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. My name is Andrew Valentin, and welcome, everybody, here to another wonderful day. Yes, unfortunately, we weren't here on Saturday, but we're back again live from Illinois Media School here from Lombard. Sorry, I got tongue-tied there. From the Illinois Media School here in Lombard, Illinois. I hope you all are having a fantastic Wednesday. It's a little cold and chilly here in good old Illinois, but what is this? What's going on?
Cold, dude. I'm wearing shorts. Let's go.
First off, everybody, I just want to say welcome back, Mr. Tom McKinney, who's wearing every single color known to mankind. You have
Literally, I'm
orange and black
I'm supporting Baker all day today.
Oh my God, why?
Baker, touchdown maker. Got my Baker jersey in.
That should really say Baker, interception maker, if I'm going to be quite honest.
He still put up like 20-some-odd fantasy points.
I
still beat Jake.
Okay.
That's all that matters. And I'm going for first place.
Sure. Whatever you want to dream of is all you can dream of. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, Tom McKinney, he's officially back. He's been touring the Serengeti. He's been kind of traveling all over the world now, but he's officially back with us. How you doing, man?
Dude, U of I is terrible.
You want to tell me something else I don't know? The sky is blue, the grass is green?
I mean, they made a game out of it in the fourth for like 5 minutes, but, they had a rookie quarterback in, and they're not good.
Well, they actually had a former Michigan quarterback in there for a while, so, but then that obviously faded away. But yeah, it's tough there at U of I. But all else, you're doing all right, man.
Yeah, living life one day at a time.
All right, man. Well, it's good to have you back, and I hope you're ready to talk some sports here, man.
I guess
it's been a hot minute since we've been able to do this together. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are ready for one, because we've got an action-packed one here. It's a lot of baseball. It's a lot of football. Obviously,
it's going to be rained out, though, for baseball.
Ooh, jeez. Throwing some shade at the
New Yorkers. And if it's snow, go play some baseball. Come on, grow up.
Have you ever played baseball in the snow?
Yeah, I grew up in Illinois.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. All right.
Try hitting a ball with a metal bat. Jesus.
Yeah, it hurts.
Talk about hitting in the wrong spot during the nice summer days. Hitting it in the wrong spot on a cold day. Good luck feeling your hand for 40 minutes.
Yeah. Well, that's why you put on the gloves.
And then your coach goes, "Now go catch." No, coach. I'm not gonna go catch. I can't feel my hands.
Yeah, at least I threw the ball, man. You had to go catch that ball. It's all right, man. But, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're ready for this one, because we're about to get it started, and we're kicking this off with some fun stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, the best manager in baseball, unfortunately, was let go from the Chicago Cubs organization. And the search has kind of been on as far as where he's going to be headed next. Well, it's finally been announced as of today. Joe Maddon will officially be joining with his former team, the Los Angeles Angels. 3-year contract. He's looking at 12 to 15 years.
Is that
$12 to $15 million on his contract?
Is that per year he's going to get like 12 to 15 million?
I believe so.
Is that 15 million for the whole 3 years, and he's gonna get $5 million per year? Because I think his Chicago contract was $5 million per year.
I think it's in total then, if that's what we're looking at. I mean, look,
because $15 million per year, Jesus.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, he's the best manager in baseball, and he's got a heck of an agent. So I didn't get all the specifics
Boris, right?
on it. No, it's not.
Okay, then we're good.
As far as I know. But yeah, guys, Joe Maddon, he's officially signed off with the Angels. I mean, Tom, first reactions on this, what are your thoughts?
This was a done deal the day that the Cubs let him go.
So you think it was a set thing right from the start?
Yeah, but I also think this was a mistake.
Really?
With everything that's going on on the organization right now with the Skaggs situation, I wouldn't touch that with a 50-foot pole.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, Tyler Skaggs, former pitcher for the Los Angeles Angels, unfortunately passed away quite a couple of months ago due to an overdose. And now the story has been coming out from the Los Angeles Angels that apparently
he was getting it from
employees within the Angels organization, and they were aware of the situation.
And management was aware of the whole situation.
Exactly, yeah. So it's very tumultuous right now for the LA Angels, certainly in that entire organization.
Players knew about it, is what I've heard.
Yeah,
I heard like Mike Trout knew about it.
Yeah, there's a certain number of players too that even were aware of the situation going on and knew that he was. It's building up now to a point where this could very well turn into a very serious thing, and who knows how the Skaggs family is going to react to this too. I mean, certainly this is a young man who had a lot of promise, who now is gone too soon.
But the one
help could have been done about it.
The one thing, the opioids and everything like that. But the one thing that truly killed him was the fentanyl.
Right. Yeah.
And
No. Yeah.
how in God's green earth did you get fentanyl?
Well, when it's coming through the organization, you have those. Find
Yeah,
a way to get those connections.
You're not getting fentanyl through an organization. That's why I said I can understand the opioids coming through the organization.
Right.
Because you hear about it all the time from former hockey players, even former athletes. They were getting pills and stuff left and right for pain. But fentanyl, like that is not something
There's
you
somebody
mess
that
with.
had some kind of connection then.
Or those,
I have to
or
believe
those
there was
pills were
something like
laced
that.
with fentanyl.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then something needs to be done.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, look, with everything that's gone on, especially
Redraft
with
that whole team. Just break up the Angels. No more Angels, and redraft the whole team. Trout goes to the Cubs. The White Sox
Okay,
get nothing.
slow your roll. Slow your roll. First off, no. Look, this is obviously
Now question for you, real quick.
It's a hard one, but yeah.
Trout won a World Series now.
Well, here's the thing. So I've been looking at this whole situation because I have a prediction up I already made for how I think he's going to do with the Angels. Because remember, this is a 3-year period he's going to get, and that's usually kind of like the standard for any coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
For any league, any organization, you usually get 3 years to show us something, and then you don't cut the bacon, you're out. Otherwise, we'll extend you for however long we think it'll work. I mean, honestly, so I did the whole mess. I mean, 3 years, 162 games. You're talking 486 games out of. Yes, I know. I did the math. Calculator, man, it's really good. I predicted that I think he's going to go 286 and 200 in those years. My prediction is that he will come out of this with a couple of playoff appearances, at least in the wild card. I think he'll make it past the wild card, but he will not make it past the first round. That's my. I think
who's in that division?
So we were talking about the AL West. That's what we're looking at. So in the AL West, you have, as soon as it pops up here, you have the Astros, the Athletics, the Rangers, and the Mariners. Now, I think they can definitely Mariners, excuse me. I know, I speak weird, excuse me. So Mariners, I think, are very easily beaten. I mean, the
Rangers too.
Seattle's done. Rangers are starting on the decline right now. Athletics, I think
up and down every year. It depends.
Yeah, it kind of just depends. I think it really depends on how that whole division really works out. And Houston, they're going to be good, and I think they're going to win the division, but I think they're going to be one of those teams that starts to go on the decline.
I think if they win, they're going to lose the World Series.
Because here's the thing. Depending on what happens with Garrett Cole, because right now he's been fantastic, and we'll get to them very soon.
Cubs.
Well, we'll see about that.
Cubs are targeting him, and they'll have the money.
If they want to spend the money, that's for sure.
Why wouldn't you?
That's my question. Why wouldn't you? Right, White Sox? Why wouldn't you instead of giving incentives?
Well, let's be honest. Who's
Shut
your
up!
owner
We're not getting into that. We'll talk about that when it comes up because I have words, man. But no, that whole division. Look, right now, if
it's winnable,
it is winnable.
It's even capable of winning the division.
Well, and that's what I'm saying is like, with Houston looking the way that it looks right now, my prediction is that they'll at least be able to make it into a wild card in the 3 years with.
Well, look at it this way. Look at the two other divisions he's come from.
Yeah.
He went from the AL East, which you had the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Orioles were really good for a short period of time while you were there. I don't know if Toronto was at good while he was there, but you at least had the Yankees and Red Sox to go up against.
Right.
And you were in Tampa. Like, nothing good comes out of Tampa.
Yeah. Well,
Jameis Winston just leave.
I'll say this: Toronto at least has always found a way to kind of be like formidable.
Yeah.
And he took a Tampa team that really. I'm not
he took
trying
them
to
to the World
disrespect them.
Series.
Yeah, he took them to that point. I mean, he made them look like they were legit.
They were legit.
Think
about that team though that he took to the World Series. You had Zobrist, you had Longoria.
Yeah.
Like those two alone.
Yeah, I forget about how talented.
Zobrist has got back-to-back World Series. And he's a
I'll say Longoria, maybe Hall of Famer. Zobrist, I think it's a little shaky.
I'm not saying Zobrist first ballot, though. I'm saying Zobrist, like...
Maybe modern day.
Modern day, or Zobrist gets in his last year.
Maybe. It's possible. But, look, for what he's done as a manager, I mean, this is the 3-time manager of the year. I mean, and especially what he did.
And he made history.
And what he did with the Cubs, too, was
literally history. He literally went out in his first year... low expectations and took them to the NLCS. Yes, they got swept, but who cares? They took them to the LCS. Then he goes, all right, guys, well, we've been this far. You get Fowler coming back, and they go on and win the World Series, and they beat the Indians.
Yeah.
In dramatic fashion.
I mean, look, he is the best manager in baseball. I think it's
better than Correa.
Better than Correa.
The Red Sox manager. Now, I know the Red Sox had a bad year this year, but that's because of what they've been through the last few years.
I would say even better. I mean, I think here's the thing. He's not perfect, yes.
What about the Astros manager? Terry Francona, come on.
I mean, all right. So let's put him at least. I would say he's
top
at least
5.
in the top 5.
Yeah, I'm saying top 5, but you can't say he's the best out there because literally you got Terry Francona.
Well, I'm saying so when I say he's the best out there, I'm saying he's the best out there in terms of availability. Okay. Let's straighten that out. He's the best manager in terms of availability. In terms of being the best manager, he certainly I put him like number 5 out of the top 5. I'm not gonna rank him up, but I'm just saying he's in that conversation. But he's not perfect, obviously, right? I mean, he's been a little shaky at times with the lineups. He's kind of used there's a lot of concern of how he uses the bullpen every now and then. I mean, that's his managing style, obviously, and it's hard to change that. One of my big concerns, though, for him has been, I think he's somebody who's it's a little bit difficult for him to change with how baseball is going. Now, I'm not always the biggest fan of it, but I understand how analytics are changing baseball now. It's sports are starting to change towards the numbers game now. It's starting to revolutionize how we look at players and how we pick and choose who's going to be on the team. So I think if Maddon is more accepting of that, because I think he's been a little resistant to that, and I think that's part of the reason why maybe the Ricketts family felt like, man, maybe it's time to move on. Which I think still is the worst thing you could have done. I don't think removing him from the Cubs was the right move, but that's just me. I'm just saying that, but. Honestly, if he can just be more accepting, I think, of the numbers situation behind him, I think the Angels can be good. I said again in my prediction, I said, I think they can win. I think they can have at least one season in those 3 years where they win 90-plus games. I think that can actually happen. And maybe, who knows, like you said, Tom, maybe they can win the division because Houston, how long can Verlander go? I mean, he's aging like fine wine, but, at some point he's going to start to go on the decline. If you can't re-sign Garrett Cole, that's another loss. And then, who knows if you stick around with Zach Greinke? I mean, anything's possible. Anything could fall apart. And plus, obviously, you've got Correa who's had injuries. Who knows if Altuve will at some point start getting banged up, I'm sure, because he's getting up in age too. So, there's a lot that falls into this. But I think if Maddon's more willing to kind of accept that numbers kind of take a place into the game, because you look at what happened with the Dodgers in the playoffs, I mean, you went with your gut. You went with your gut. Yeah, Tom was right with that. Dave Roberts said he went with his gut on Clayton Kershaw, and you gave up back-to-back home runs. So how does the gut work? Maybe the numbers actually sell.
He's not Gibbs.
He's true. But, yeah, so, I mean, in the prediction, you got 486 games in 3 years, Tom. What would you say the record's looking? Now, you don't got to give me, like, a specific number, but do you think it's going to be, like, over 250 wins?
I think he gets 300 wins.
300, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they get to the World Series one year, and then I think they actually win the World Series.
Really?
Yeah.
You think he can take them to the World Series?
I think the second year I think his second year he gets to the ALCS and loses in 7 to I don't know who.
Yeah.
And then in that last year he gets into the Promised Land and either gets him within a game of winning it and loses it, so like Game 7.
Yeah.
Or wins it.
Okay. Interesting. So, do you think then that he can maximize the potential out of the stars that are right now in LA with Mike Trout and Ohtani and all those guys?
I think Pujols retires here and after this season.
Okay.
I think Pujols is out. Was that you, Jake?
I don't think so.
I heard someone say bold.
Yeah.
I was like, what's so bold about that? Like, Pujols is old, and I think his contract's up.
Either that or that was just the squeak of a chair.
I think, yeah. So I think Pujols retires. I think Maddon gets Ohtani where he wants him to be. Mm-hmm. And I think I think he does it. I don't know. It's just going to be interesting.
Yeah, look, these next 3 years for the Angels, I think it's going to be fun baseball. I think you're going to see some fun baseball, and maybe Mike Trout finally does it, finally gets to where he needs to be, and this giant contract he signs actually comes through. So, hey, we'll see what happens here with the Angels, ladies and gents. So we'll keep holding our hats on for this one. All right, but away from that, obviously from Joe Maddon, we've still got some baseball going on here in the playoffs. But, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a shocker what we've been seeing. My God, if you haven't heard the big news, what's going on here in baseball.
I did not call the team there. I did not call the
No,
team.
neither of us did. Neither
But
of
I
us
did
said
say,
Washington would beat
I
them.
had been saying, yes, I said team from the NL Central is going to win the World Series because they're all fighting for a playoff spot. Now, yes, the Cardinals made it to the NLCS. Yes, they got swept. Quick stat, the Nationals, since June 1st, by the way, the greatest day in the world, NL Best 69-36, averaged 5.75 runs per game, up from 7.1 or 4.71.
Yeah.
So that's the improbable run that team had been on.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculous to think that that's where they were at. And we all knew where they were at because they looked like trash.
Yeah, no, they did not start off well at all. And somehow, ladies and gentlemen, Washington Nationals, they're headed to their first World Series in 86 years since the encompassing brand of the franchise came about in 1901 and then switched over to the I didn't know they became the Texas Rangers. And then, obviously, if you don't know, Montreal Expos then make the move to Washington to become the
Weren't
Nationals.
they the Senators?
They were the Senators at the start. Then they switched to the Nationals. Then they made the move to Arlington to be the Texas Rangers. And then, obviously, Montreal in 2004, I believe it was, they made the switch to Washington, became the Nationals. And now, in a pretty short span of time for a baseball's legacy, they're able to actually make it to a World Series. And all of this,
by the way,
without their star player.
There's only been one team in Major League Baseball history that's not made it to the LCS. Can you name that team?
I think that would be, is it Seattle?
No.
Who is it then?
No. Oh, maybe you guess.
You have to make me guess?
Yeah, 3 guesses. So you went with Seattle.
Okay. The only team to not make it to the NLCS.
Just any of the LCSs.
Any of them. Oh, my God. What?
Who? Nope.
Oh my God!
You got 2 more to go, JQ. If you want to throw them out there.
I am. Wow, I am drawing. Miami?
Nope.
No, of course. What am I saying? Jesus. Jake, anything? Nothing. Oh my God!
You got 1 more. Jake, you got 2 more. Just throw someone out there.
It's not Toronto.
No. But I'll still let you guess 1 more.
Oakland?
No. Jake, you got 2?
I don't.
Just throw 2 teams out there. What? No. No.
Jake said Baltimore and Texas. And all right, what would
the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. You got me on that one. That's for sure. Where did you find that?
Facebook.
Okay. I should have figured on that one. But yeah, guys, no, this Washington Nationals team has been a terror. I mean, Howie Kendrick has been named the NLCS MVP. He played phenomenal. I mean, he's been. This team has really come together, and they have really the best. They have the best punch when it comes to pitching. I mean, my God, everybody's on their game, really. So I mean, it's been fantastic to watch how this Washington Nationals team is playing.
By the way, this is one of my favorite things right here. Tickets $300, parking $35, hot dog / beer $25, souvenir ball cap $25. Watching your team win its first NL pennant, priceless.
That's true, yeah. If you guys don't know, they are doing this without Bryce Harper after he signed, what was it again, $330 million to be with the Philadelphia Phillies. So how's that working, Bryce? Which, honestly, I want to ask you this question. Now, I think you might be on the totally opposite side of this, or maybe you're with me, I don't know, but do you believe that possibly Bryce Harper was holding back the Nationals in any way?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
Okay.
But who cares? By the way,
Yeah.
Washington Nationals Twitter, kudos to you for pulling out the Bryce Harper comment during his Philly press conference where he goes, "Want to bring up championship back to DC." Messed that up.
Yeah, really.
And then they used it, and in their playoff video, their whole slogan is "Want to bring a playoff back to DC."
Yeah, that was. I mean, because that's been my whole thing is like, look, you leave, and then 1 year later, your team's going. Well, not your team, but your former team is going to the World Series without you.
Fourth.
Yeah, really. I mean, seriously.
You finished behind the Braves, the Nationals, the Mets. You finished behind the Mets. The Mets.
Well, to be fair, the Mets had some good pitching, so.
Finally, Jesus. But again, though, I did call the Dodgers getting upset. I did have the Dodgers being upset.
You did have the Dodgers being upset, which, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't see that one, whoo, man, that was a bit of a shocker. I did not.
I don't know why I don't gamble.
Really? I mean, dude, by this point now, you would probably be making a lot of cash. Jeez, give us the lottery numbers already. I keep telling you.
Like, I said it, and I'm going to keep saying it for every sport out there. NBA, NHL, MLB, NFL. If you want to go on and win, unless you're the Patriots, honestly, the NFL, just don't listen to this because you got to get past the Patriots. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
You have to beat the Patriots to win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But for every other sports league out there, you don't want your team to coast through the whole season. I think Tampa Bay is going to have the same issue in the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to coast through the regular season and be going into the playoffs and be like, hey,
nonchalant,
here we go again. We're going to do this, and they're going to go lose to, like, Detroit. Somehow Detroit's going to make the playoffs this year. I don't think that's going to happen, but somehow they could happen. I don't know. NHL's going crazy right now. I have no idea what's going on. Hell, you had Edmonton 5-0. You had the Carolina Hurricanes 5-0.
I gotta say, I like how you still somehow sneak in hockey talk here.
By the way, the Blackhawks had their 500th consecutive sellout. The night that they beat 500th straight sellout game. The night that they beat Edmonton.
Chicago, man, you guys are loyal fans. So, I mean, we stick by our team no matter how bad they are. But
hey, we're 1-2-1.
Wait, hey, we're early.
1-2-1.
It's early. It's early in the year.
Thank you. Please just say that.
It's early in the year.
God, I hate.
We will tear into them as the season progresses on. Okay. Hey, which Hawks though? You got to be specific. Remember, you support a Hawks team. There you go.
The Atlanta Hawks? Yeah, well, they're terrible.
Hey, man, you don't know that.
Let's be honest here. Are they terrible?
Well, I mean, right now they are. Who knows?
But yeah, so I called the Dodgers being swept, or not swept, but I called them being upset just because they coasted. They won, 106 games or something like that?
Yeah, they went in. I think it was the thing of, like, overconfidence. You thought, oh, it's the Nationals.
You can't go into a playoff team. The Nationals. That's why I said, when I said it earlier, I wasn't entirely crazy in my theory of saying that whoever comes out of the NL Central, the two teams that come out of the NL Central, are most likely going to be fighting for a World Series.
I thought Atlanta would do a lot better, to be honest.
Quote, unquote, yes. So the Nationals beat the Brewers. Okay, well, the Cardinals are still there. Cardinals beat the Braves, but there's a flaw in the Cardinals system. And you saw it those first two games that the two games that Atlanta did win, is that they beat them and they go out and they blew those games. Yeah. They didn't have a bullpen.
No.
That was their issue.
That's the weakest point for the Cardinals was that they don't have those extra hands.
And so that's what killed the Cardinals. But again, they had that whole fighting mentality for a playoff spot all the way up to the end. The Nationals literally had a fighting mentality all the way up to the end. All honesty, I think if the Giants had made it, I think the Giants might be there right now.
Yeah.
The Mets would have made it. I think the Mets could have been there right now because they were all fighting for playoff lives.
I mean, it was a close race. It was a close race.
Now, I'm not saying you have to fight to the last game.
Right.
But you have to fight at least to the last 2 weeks of the season.
You can't – yeah, it's one of those things where you have to kind of stay in the competitive mode all the way throughout. Because you could see the Dodgers kind of – I mean, they were winning games towards the end there, but – they were still on sort of this nonchalant complacency. I mean, they were celebrating already because they knew the fact they had the division locked up. They had their playoff spot locked in. So they knew, well, we're already here, so, you know, let's take the last 7 games or whatever and kind of just let ourselves rest a little bit. Now, that can work for some teams, but for the Dodgers, unfortunately, one of their biggest issues has been that they've kind of gone into the postseason. It seems like they've always been a little bit just laid back too much, and then all of a sudden, backs against the wall. Now you got to lay on your guys like you said. Dave Roberts tried to go with Clayton Kershaw.
Let me see if I can find it again. Yeah. I saw something.
Dave Roberts tried to go with Clayton Kershaw and said, "I went with my gut on that." And, you know, and it's one of those things where it's like, well, maybe you should have gone with the more statistical. I mean, because their bullpen is not too terrible. It's not great, but like he's a starter. And he's not even their best pitcher anymore, to be quite honest. He's fading fast, So I don't know why you just throw him out there. I know you're trying to save a season, but you have other guys. Why not go to them? Go with the number. Again, this is one of the things, like I say, with Joe Maddon. The numbers don't lie. They have something to sell. So I don't know. I don't understand it.
Dodgers postseason woes. So this was after they got eliminated by the Nationals.
Yeah.
2013 lost in the NLCS versus St. Louis 4-2.
Right.
2014 lost in the NLDS versus St. Louis 3-1. 2015 lost in the NLDS versus the Mets. That was the year the Mets went to the World Series.
Yep.
And the Mets then swept the Cubs the following round. They lost 3-2. NLCS 2016 lost NLCS obviously to the Chicago Cubs 4-2.
Yeah.
2017 lost World Series versus Houston 4-3. Honestly, everybody says that was the greatest World Series ever. I don't care. That was terrible. 2016 was way better.
For you, yes. For baseball fans, I would say as a baseball fan, that was a very fun World Series they played. The Cubs one was just as fun, but it was more emotional for us because obviously we're from Chicago, and that's a big thing for us. So
2018 lost World Series versus Boston. We all know what happened there. 4-1. Chris Sale was outstanding in that
That
season.
whole team was on another level.
I think that team's going to come back next year stronger, and I think the Yankees are going to be hurt.
Just don't trade away your guys. For the love of God, don't trade away
and
your
then,
guys.
Obviously, we all know what happened. 2019 lost NLDS versus Washington 3-2.
Yeah.
So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 7th straight year that they have lost a series with high expectations of winning that.
I'll ask you this right now. Clayton Kershaw, should he leave?
Yeah, honestly, get a new start. Like, as much as I know people are going to hate this, I would love to see him on the Cubs.
Honestly, at this point, anywhere. Because his time in L.A., I mean, look, he's like, what, your number 3 starter at this point? He's not the same pitcher. Velocity's gone down.
No, yeah, his velocity's gone down. I'd make him number 2, depending on what rotation he's in.
Yeah.
Maybe even number 1 again, depending on what rotation.
But, I mean, at this point, you've spent your whole – I mean, look, he's definitely a Hall of Famer. I don't think that's a question about that. I certainly think he's a Hall of Fame pitcher for sure.
Is he first ballot?
That's the thing, though, now. It's whether or not he can get to that next level. Because this is a man that everybody said he should be the ace in the hole to get a World Series.
If he wins a World Series, he's first ballot Hall of Famer. If he can't win a World Series, he's year 3.
It's going to take a while.
He's year 3 Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I mean, it's not – unfortunately, and I've seen some people say the whole comment like, well, maybe he's going to be like Verlander. I don't think he's going to be like Verlander. Verlander, first off, that guy's inhuman. I don't know how. The only thing I think that's going to stop him is when he hits 40. I mean, and then that's a few years off still. But
I don't know. He might be Big Z.
He might be. Who knows?
Might see him in the Chicago Dogs.
That would be something. But Kershaw, I think, look, at this point, man – find another. There's so many other teams out there that you can find. Padres certainly could use an arm like you. I mean, they got a lot of young pitchers. Put you as a veteran pitcher in there could be something.
Padres would be a playoff team then.
They might be. They got a lot of young arms. They got a lot of young bats. They've got veteran bats and young bats. That's a young team. Angels. That's a tough one, but Angels need some help pitching. Something to consider. And you're not moving too far away, man. You're not moving too far away. Oakland's one. New York might be one. Well, the Yankees will always be in that mix for pitchers like you because they need help pitching.
Yankees can afford it.
That's the thing is that their money's poured into a lot right now. But with CC Sabathia potentially, maybe is he officially retiring?
Yeah, he's already retiring.
Okay, so who knows? They might be looking to try and see if they can replace him with somebody like Kershaw. But at this point, man, I mean, hell, even Cubs, White Sox, Chicago's a nice city, man. Give it a shot. I know you love LA, man, but I think it's time to move on.
Yeah.
Seriously. If you want a chance to win a championship, change is good. Trust me. Change can be a good thing, especially when you're a pitcher. But I understand, though, the cold sucks, but just get used to it. Wear a coat. Buy a coat. That's all you got to do.
And it's not long.
Yeah, it doesn't last too long. It's, October around here, what? It's 40, 50 degrees right now. It's
49.
beautiful out. Yeah, it's beautiful outside.
We're in shorts.
Yeah.
You get used to it.
I don't need a coat. I brought one, but I don't really need it.
I'm in a hoodie. Hoodie and shorts.
Well, you're in a whole lot.
Yeah, but I wore a hoodie and shorts to work today.
All right. So, but then again, we were born in this thing. We're like polar bears. So,
Yeah.
but ladies and gentlemen, obviously we're gonna follow this on with the World Series, like and I know Houston Yankees. Game 4 is postponed right now. It was supposed to play today. Yeah, I know. It's raining out there, unfortunately. I don't know. It's weather, like you said. You said it was weather outside.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
That's the update said.
So it's either snowing or raining, something like that. But obviously Houston right now, I mean, Garrett Cole's been on his best. Yankees really shelled it in Game 1. I don't trust the Yankees, though, unfortunately. As soon as A-Rod said it felt like 2009, I said I'm out. Because that 2019.
As soon as A-Rod says anything,
yeah, well,
I
know
I'm
you.
out.
I know you have a.
I hate that man. He has a bad.
I will say, as a commentator, he's bad. As a man that sits on the table and has a mic, I like him.
By the way,
I like his stuff.
By the way, has anybody seen the video of Big Papi putting vodka in Frank Thomas's?
Oh, that's amazing.
You've seen that video?
Yeah, I've seen that video. That's awesome.
Also, can we talk about Big Papi's playoff predictor? Have you seen that?
Yes. I don't
He had the Rays.
Yeah.
And who else did he have?
The
Twins.
Yeah, that's
he had
it.
No, he had the Rays, not the Rays and the Twins. That makes no sense.
No, he had the Twin. He had
the Rays.
Did he have the Rays?
The Rays and the Dodgers. He had the Rays and the Dodgers,
yeah.
and those two teams are gone.
Yeah. Look, David Ortiz, we love you, baby, but come on, man.
It's all those drugs he's on, dude. It's all those
From a
painkillers.
loss of blood.
It's all those painkillers, man.
Okay. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a quick one
Wait.
here. What?
I have one thing to ask you. So I found this on Facebook. I shared it from the I'm gonna butcher this, non-scholastic, whatever, 90s.
Okay.
Nostalgic. There, I got it. I figured it out. I learned how to speak. All right. So tied game. 30 seconds left.
All right.
Forrest wants to go home. Bobby thinks Forrest was talking bad about his mom. Could Bobby stop Forrest?
What?
Exactly what I said. Bobby
Repeat what you just
Here,
said.
Here, I'll let you read it.
Let me read this. Tied game, 30 seconds left. Oh, Forrest Gump wants to go home. Bobby thinks Forrest was talking bad about his mom. Could Bobby stop Forrest? No, because Forrest Gump is too fast.
I think Bobby just puts Hurt Locker on him.
I don't know, man. Forrest Gump's pretty fast. That's what you wanted to add? That's what you're asking?
Producer back there?
Dude, I don't even know.
Jake, are you back? Oh, there he is.
All right, well, when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be getting into some football stuff. We're going to get into some NFL, some of the top stories that are important out there. And, of course, too, since Tom's back, we're going to be talking some college football here, ladies and gentlemen. So don't go anywhere because we'll be right back here on the X1 Sports Live Show.
Man, are you still working out? It's like 1,000 degrees.
Intense heat is nothing. To get an intense workout, you gotta be intense.
Our friend here is getting an intense workout with the intense cool of his Hydrotech Cool Breeze shoes. Which brings your feet a cooling sensation that is the best on the market today. Can only be explained with one word.
Intense!
Whether you're working out hard or just taking a stroll, these shoes have got your back. Or I should say, your feet.
Aren't these shoes intense?
Maybe a little too intense, but there's no doubt they're cool.
Throughout the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, Judy Finelli established herself as a masterful juggler and performer, making appearances everywhere from Carnegie Hall to Sesame Street. With her loving heart, she has brought warm smiles to children everywhere she has performed. She even started the San Francisco School for the Circus Arts, but shortly after, she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and by 2004, she was completely paralyzed. In celebration of her accomplishments and to fight the illness that had crippled Judy, a group of students from the San Francisco Clown College have compiled the perfect holiday present for those who want to laugh and to help those struggling with the illness. The goal has been set at $1 million raised, with 100% of any dollar made to be donated to the Judy Finelli Fund, which is helping find a cure to multiple sclerosis. Visit www.circuscenter.org to make a donation or to purchase a framed Naked Clown photo or the full Naked Clown 12-month calendar. Remember, 100% of every dollar is donated and goes to fighting MS.
Thought it was funny.
Welcome, everybody.
Yes!
God. Welcome, everybody, back to the X1 Sports Live Show. Did we get that on there?
Jake? Yes!
All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Sarah, I'm sorry. But yeah, welcome back, everybody. Here, if you guys missed the first half, we talked a lot on baseball. Obviously, Joe Maddon being the new manager of the Los Angeles Angels, we got into that. We talked about Major League Baseball playoff and how Tom was right about some of that stuff and how he was also wrong about some of that stuff, which is always fun. But ladies and gentlemen, we got our fun stuff, obviously, which is the NFL and how the week has gone, because this last week has been pretty crazy, and there's a lot of stories to talk about.
Can we make fun of Cowboys fans now?
Yes, if you want to make fun of Cowboys fans now, go ahead.
NFL teams are 90-1 since 1991 when they win time of possession, total yards, turnovers, pick up 25 first downs, and convert at least 10 or more third down attempts. Dallas lost to the Jets on Sunday. Is the only loss.
Yeah, it was.
Suck it, Cowboys fans.
Yeah, that was not pretty at all. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're going into one top of the line stories for the NFL because obviously,
real quick,
we weren't able to do a recap because there's a lot to go down.
Real quick,
yeah.
That high school player that headbutted the official.
Mm-hmm.
Any more word on that?
I haven't heard anything on that, but that thing is brutal.
What was it, like $20,000? He's being like
something like
sued
that,
or whatever.
Yeah. And he's not the first to do this, ladies and gentlemen. There's been plenty others, but yeah, that's a pretty ugly video if you watch that. Yeah, man, God, that's brutal. But speaking of officials, you guys don't know.
Great segue.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I'll give you a high five for that. That was pretty good. So let's start this one off with obviously story number one, which is NFL officials, ladies and gentlemen. It's kind of been a little shaky now.
A little? Did anybody see Spice Adams' Twitter video today?
Now, I will say this, all right, with the NFL officials, okay? I think there needs to be some sort of accountability held for these guys. I think there should be something that comes to, like, a reference for these guys that they're able to, like, answer questions themselves. However, I want everybody to understand, too, that this is personal error. Remember that. People are not perfect. I mean, these calls were bad, yes.
Personal error?
It's personal error. I mean, let's be honest. The human eye does not always catch what it wants to catch.
Jake, do you believe that?
No answer from our producer.
I think he died.
He might have, yeah. But look, man, I'm not saying that those two calls weren't bad, but let's remember that, you know, like we've talked about, like with the robot umpires, right? We've said, like, there's good to it, but there's also bad to it, right? Robot officials in the NFL would be the same thing. There'd be good to it, but there'd be bad to it.
I'm not asking for robot officials.
No, I know.
But I'm asking on certain situations, like in hockey, where if it's a scoring opportunity, if it hits off the crossbar and it looked like it went in the net, they stop action after. Like if New York or Toronto has the rights to stop action in a game and go, hold on. Let's double check that. That might be a goal.
Yeah.
Because if it happens to go down to the other side of the ice and the other teams, so say the Blackhawks shoot the puck, it goes in the net, but it doesn't look like it went in the net on the ice.
Right.
But the horn goes off, but the officials wave it off, and then they're playing Detroit, and Detroit goes down and scores, then they have to. Then they go back and review it. Then they negate Detroit's goal, and the Blackhawks get a goal.
Yeah.
So I'm fine in like final 2 minutes of a game in situations like that where it's potential game-winning drive and a game on the line, reviewing some of this.
Yeah, I mean,
I know people don't want a lot of reviews. I get it.
That's the problem.
I get it.
It makes the game.
I 100% understand where people are going to start complaining from.
Yeah.
But it's going to come down to a Super Bowl, and we've already seen it in the World Series.
Right.
We've seen World Series with replays be costed, but also turned into right calls that the right team won the World Series. Because we saw it last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Saints are getting robbed every time they're on the field.
I'll say this for all the flag, because obviously this is a year where we're seeing a lot of flags get thrown. I will say this is just my personal opinion, mind you. This I would say 70% of the flags you see thrown are the correct calls. The other 30% are the ones where it's, you know, well, maybe it's iffy or that's totally wrong. Okay?
And hands to the face.
Yeah, and it's that 30% that's really making this
hands
hard.
to the face is one I understand. It's probably one of the most difficult things.
Well, that one, I can understand where, like, if you're looking at it from the side, it's like, well, maybe he did. But when you see the full video and you do the review
But
on
that's what I'm
it,
saying. Those should take 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It takes 2 minutes just to go, all right, we're going to look at that real fast. Oh, yeah, that's not hands to the face, no penalty.
yeah. But
And maybe the Lions win that game.
that's what makes this even worse is that whole game on Monday Night Football, Packers winning it by the way,
That might
23-22.
that
Lions
game-
had a chance to win the division, or not win, but take the lead in the
That
division.
might cost the Lions a playoff spot. By the way,
Possible.
Brock Osweiler retiring after 7 seasons.
Yes.
Just that pops up.
Yeah.
But that potentially could cost the team a playoff spot.
Yeah. It could
And-
be.
And as much as I hate Detroit, like I still feel sympathy. Yeah, thank
There
you.
you go.
For them, and the fact that I know we've gone through it. We went through it last year. Goddamn,
Yep.
Frick. I don't even know how he has a job anymore.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's with the Titans.
I know. Yeah, and then Nugent's with the Patriots.
Yeah, he whiffed them. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, but
it's,
does it really matter?
No, it
It's the
doesn't.
Patriots.
It doesn't really. But no, this. I mean, obviously, I think something needs to be done about this. Needs to be something fixed on it. I will say though, Mr. What's his name? Angelo Reitzman, I think is his name. The former official who's now the head of the officiating committee. Can you just for once stop backing up the NFL refs? Can I just hear you for once say that they got something wrong? Like every time they ask him, they're like, let's go to Angelo to see what he thinks. He's like, yeah, it's a good call by the refs. I don't think I've ever heard him once say it was a bad call from his refs. And obviously, why would he? Because those are his guys. But I'm just, come on, man.
Yeah,
like,
but then
even though you
you contradict yourself when the NFL comes out the next day and
I
says,
know.
"Oh, that's not a face, hands on face call. That was a terrible call."
Yeah, and it's I don't know. He's first off, for those that don't know, he was rated as one of the worst referees in the history of the NFL. I think he's number 1 in fact. And then from that, after that, they made him the head of the officiating committee. I don't know how that works. Yeah, that's
Doing the Johnny Manziel. I'm wearing a Browns jersey, so I gotta do the Johnny Manziel.
Well, you're not far off from that.
Whoa.
Don't hurt me.
I might have to.
You're not even a Cleveland fan. Come on.
No, I'm a Baker
All right, let's
supporter.
move into the next one. So the next story we've got here for you, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, there we go. So this is coaches to blame, not the QBs. So
Well, we know
obviously-
Dallas. That's just a joke organization, anyways.
Well, look, I will say this because a lot of people have been blaming Dak. And, yes, Dak hasn't played really good in these last 3 games. And, yes, there's a good portion of it that falls on his shoulders, certainly. But they've also had injuries on Dallas. And with
let's
that,
be honest, how bad is that defense?
it's not as good as we thought it was going to be, that's for sure. But I will say that a big portion of this, I think, falls on definitely the man who's been there for 10 years and has only seen the playoffs 1 time. And who is that?
Oh, wait, you got
Your head coach. Yeah, they got eliminated.
Don't get me
on
wrong.
that.
They probably should have gone on. That was a terrible game.
Yeah. But Jason Garrett, he's been there for over a decade. You've tried it. It hasn't worked. Time to move on. Seriously.
Nah.
I don't know. You probably didn't watch that game against them with the Jets. But there was a point where you probably seen the pic. Yeah, I know.
Goodbye.
There's a video and a picture where you can see Jason Garrett puts his hands
Yeah.
out, tries to get the high fives from the guy, and they pass him. That's the moment you know you've lost your team.
Yeah.
I mean, any other Nagy sometimes makes some dumb calls. Don't get me wrong, but the team still gives him the respect because he's still a decent coach. But Jason Garrett, at that point, that tells me, team does not like you. I give it to Kellen Moore. Let him do it. Seriously, put him as the interim coach. Can't hurt. Can't win with this guy. Can't do it. Can't win.
No.
And then
I actually heard a good one. Lincoln Riley will be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys next year.
That one. That would be interesting.
Lincoln Riley.
I don't
You
think-
heard it here second because NBC Sports Chicago said it earlier on their gambling shit yesterday. I saw it.
Yeah.
That's where I got it from.
Okay.
But you heard it here second. If you don't watch it, you heard it here first. Lincoln Riley, the coach of the Oklahoma Sooners, will now be jumping state lines and going into enemy territory for his sake to coach the Dallas Cowboys.
According to our sources, that will happen. And then as for the Rams, I mean, look, Jared Goff, I think, is still a good quarterback. I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's elite. I just think he's good. I think Sean McVay, though, for some reason, seems to be kind of in this fumbling situation where he doesn't.
Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling.
Seriously. He doesn't know what to do because all of a sudden Todd Gurley doesn't seem to be playing like himself. Well, How about run the ball with Malcolm Brown, run the ball with Darrell Henderson, and let's see what we've got there. Throw the ball to Cooper Kupp, throw the ball to Robert Woods, get Brandon Cooks over the middle. How hard is this? It's not difficult. You've got one of the best offenses out there. And now your defense, which, by the way, got a little bit more stacked, and we'll talk about that here a little soon, you've got a chance to go back. But it just seems like you're taking steps backwards instead of forwards. You should be taking the steps forward to go to another Super Bowl. I'm just saying, don't blame the quarterbacks, blame the coaches, all right? Okay, so the next story we've got up there, ladies and gentlemen, obviously with the whole coaching situation and all that, past that, you've got obviously what's going on in the NFL. Russ, right now, the MVP favorite. CMC, not too far behind, though.
Now, who are we saying CMC?
Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
First off, just so everybody knows, trying to write out his last name in those lower thirds is impossible, okay? He takes up too much space, much like he does for the Panthers offense. Seriously. That guy is putting the entire team on his back, and I know a lot of people would say he's...
McCaffrey wins it, sorry.
I don't think he does.
I think
he's going to break down. That's my fear.
No, I think Christian McCaffrey wins it. And let's be honest here. Why isn't Tom Brady in this talk?
Because he hasn't really been playing too hot.
I don't care. It's still the Patriots.
I mean, look, if you could give it to Bill Belichick,
What?
I'd give it. They haven't really been tested yet. So, I mean, that's.
But that whole division's garbage. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
They don't make their schedule.
And
Yeah, say that again when they win their 7th Super Bowl.
Well,
Yeah, World Series. Same difference. They'd probably win a World Series, too.
I was really hoping he would say World Super Bowl. I was really hoping for that one. Look, I think Russell Wilson, this is just for me. I think Russell Wilson right now is the MVP favorite. And look, as a quarterback, I mean, they're the most valuable thing on the team. He's been playing outstanding. Look, Christian McCaffrey, he is the Panthers offense at this point. But I'm afraid that because they're asking him to do so much, he's going to break down. And I'm afraid
At least get me a fantasy win.
Shut up.
Fantasy Super Bowl.
But I like the guy. I think he's going to finish in second, but I just don't see it happening. And I think it's because the NFL won't. I don't think the NFL will let it happen because if he does win it, then the price of running backs goes up. And I mean, honestly, he's the new breed of running back with Saquon Barkley that's going to be hitting the NFL now. So you got to get used to it. But maybe not this year, but I think at some point in the near future he might win an MVP if he keeps this level of play up. I just need the Panthers to not run him in the ground, please. He's such a special player. He's one of right now the more iconic players out there you should be slapping on the front of your website. And I just feel like the Panthers are going to destroy him. So I'm just asking the Panthers to please get him some help. Please. But yeah, so, I mean, but outside of that, I mean, there's not too many other. Patrick Mahomes, maybe. I mean, that's the usual candidate, but there's not too many others out there. So, but Russ and CMC, I think right now it's a head-to-head battle right there. So, all right, next one. So, obviously, outside of the MVP candidacy, we go to some more on the Panthers, which is, can Cam Newton stay with is he going to be staying with the Carolina Panthers? Apparently, there's 10 teams that might be interested in trading with the quarterback. I think it's the 25th or the 29th is the deadline for the NFL's trade deadline. So, I mean, for Cam Newton, I don't know. Where do you think he's going to go, Tom? I mean, there's so many teams that need a quarterback at this point.
I don't care at this point. Like,
pick a team. If you could pick a team, where do you think he would fit
Tampa.
best? Tampa, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Or Miami.
Look, there's a ton of teams right now that have said they're interested, from the Broncos, the Bengals, the Dolphins.
Why would the Broncos be interested in a quarterback? Flacco's not been doing terrible.
No, but I think the thing is that if he gets hurt at any point, or if he starts to, decline in his level of play, it's not a bad thought to have a big, strong quarterback back there that could potentially, show some athleticism. Now, what's interesting, though, is that also, too, the Bears have been kind of thrown in this conversation, which, I mean, for a backup quarterback, maybe not. I mean, honestly, I think this is not going to come off good maybe to some people, but I think if he did play on our team, we might actually go up. We might actually be a little bit better, to be quite honest. I'm not saying he's great, but I'm saying I think he's sufficient enough that if he was on this team, I think Nagy could actually run a decent offense, and there could be something there. So, but as far as where he'll actually go, I would probably say, yeah, I'll give it Miami, maybe Oakland, maybe, So there's so many teams right now that are probably going to be looking for a QB at this point. It's tough to sell on that one, but yeah. So that's where I'm at with Cam Newton. So where will Cam Newton go?
Okay.
The possibilities are endless, and at this point, though, his career is pretty much at an end because Kyle Allen right now has been playing outstanding. So 5-0 as a backup quarterback, not too shabby, I gotta say. All right, on to the next story. So the next story is: will the Rams be good with Ramsey? Yeah, a little.
Ha.
Shut up. Tried, all right? So, yeah, if you guys don't know, Jalen Ramsey was
Stick to
traded.
your day job.
Yeah, I don't really want to. So, if you guys, it's not even during the day anyway, so.
Fine, stick to your night job.
Yeah. So, Jalen Ramsey was traded from the Jacksonville Jaguars for 2 first-round picks to the Los Angeles Rams. Now, the Rams have no first-round picks for 5 years, believe that or not. But now with Jalen Ramsey being there, Marcus Peters being traded to the Baltimore Ravens to make room for Jalen Ramsey and his enormous contract and stuff that'll be coming up soon. So, I mean, does this help the defense in any ways? Tom, how do you feel about this defense now with Jalen Ramsey? I mean, because they've got some good players on there now. When you really look
They're
at
still not
them.
going to be a playoff team.
You really don't think so? Nope. Okay, interesting. So you don't think the defense is going to get any help from him at all?
No.
No turnaround?
Nope.
Okay. I will say I think this team can still go. I'm thinking 10-6. I know a lot of people were saying 11-5, 12-4 was maybe more of the prediction for them, but I'm going to say 10-6. I think he helps out a little bit. He definitely helps them in the turnover ratio and coverage, but I mean overall for this defense, I mean they've just not been playing well. They just don't seem to be able to get a pass rush.
They're terrible. The Rams are terrible.
I mean, you got Aqib Talib who's on IR right now who won't be back till like week 15. You've got Clay Matthews. He's out for like 6 to 8 weeks. So, it's I don't know.
Who's who's the defensive end? I can't think of his name.
Aaron Donald.
Yeah, what's he doing?
Aaron Donald right now, I think he's been pretty sufficient for the most part. I can pull up his stuff real fast for us here. I mean, he's still, first off, he's still getting pressure on the quarterbacks. Right now, as far as his year is gone, he has 20 tackles, 8 assisted tackles, and he has 3 sacks. So not exactly his strongest point up until week 6. It's not the best for him, but honestly, I think he'll still finish with double digits, but I just don't feel like this Rams team is – it just feels like everything's off. Feels like Sean McVay's play calling's off. Feels like the defense isn't really up to par. Everybody's getting hurt. And at some point, too, you're going to have to make a decision on what you're going to do at running back. Because you well overpaid for Todd Gurley, and you've got a couple of good running backs in the backfield just waiting to explode. So got to make a decision, Rams. All right, moving on to the next one. So next story is, who's quarterbacking the Titans this season? Now, I know you were heavy on Mariota, but can you
still am.
You still think he's a good quarterback?
Yeah.
God.
Offensive line.
Yes, the offensive line has not been great, but he's not been making good decisions either.
Because he's running around for his life.
But that's always been a part of his game, and he's never really had a problem.
But think about when he
with
was in
that.
Oregon. He had an offensive line. Yes, he was still running, but that's
But
who
that was
he is.
college, though. Remember
I
that.
understand it, but
You're facing college pass rushers at that point, and an offensive line that really, I mean, it was good, but it wasn't exactly star-studded.
no. But in the NFL, you should have a good offensive line, at least when they can protect you. Jesus, I've watched another Notre Dame game against USC this weekend, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, God, this Notre Dame offensive line could literally be an NFL offensive line. With the way that Ian Book is just standing there, surveying the field, looking for an open target.
Well, to be fair, USC is not exactly a great team anymore.
But again, I counted 12 seconds. 15 seconds. Ian Book's standing there just bouncing up and down looking for someone to throw to before he either has to scramble a little bit or he finds a target. I'm like, Jesus, why can't the Bears be like this? Why can't the Titans be like this? Why can't most NFL teams be like this? This is ridiculous.
Because you're either your offensive lines are good or they're bad. And at this point right now, Titans' offensive line is bad. The defense has been the one thing keeping them alive. But on top of that, again, Mariota he's the new Robert Griffin III at this point. He comes in, he makes a quick impact early on in his career, and then I think he's just going to fade into a backup. I mean, he still has a chance, but his chance is closing out really fast. Unfortunately, it's too much with trying to run the ball, trying to make bad decisions. Ryan Tannehill's not the future. I think the Titans are going to go into this and they're going to have to find another future quarterback at this point. I still think Mariota can do it, but it's going to have to be with another team at this point because I think Mike Vrabel and the Titans. But it's the thing is he's got to have an offensive line, and he's also got to learn stay in the pocket. Can't keep running. That's one thing a lot of quarterbacks do too soon. They don't wait for the pocket to develop, and he's done that. He's one of those quarterbacks that does that a lot. I know the pass rush comes in sometimes where the pocket can't set, but when it does set, there's been moments where all of a sudden he starts to scramble out, and that's where he's at his worst. That's really where he's at his worst. And that's where he's also asking to get hurt. And that's what happened to Robert Griffin III. That's why I say he's the next. Their careers right now are matching up almost pretty evenly. They've both been to the playoffs. They both were selected number 2 overall. They both won the Heisman. They were both considered to be franchise quarterbacks, and they're both starting to fade off into existence because they're not being able to make the throws. Got to be able to make the throws in the NFL.
We'll have to see.
Yes. We'll see how the rest of this season goes. I got a feeling they're going to do a lot of flip-flopping, much like Miami is doing right now. They don't – at this point, one of us could probably be the quarterback, and we could probably –
Down.
$500,000. That's all I'm asking for.
600.
Just have to one-up me like that? All guaranteed money, by the way. I'm not taking no –
And health and life insurance.
Yeah, please.
I want it all.
All right, next on that one. So – our next story, and this is the last one. Stop. So are the Browns exactly who we know them to be? So obviously, if you don't know, Browns have...
There's another team that doesn't have an offensive line.
Hold on. Browns are 2-4 right now. They're tied in the AFC North with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look, for anybody saying get the ball to Odell Beckham Jr. more, first off, this just shows they shouldn't have gotten Odell Beckham Jr. because he's not the reason why they've won games. The reason why they've won games is because they've established a strong running game. They've had good blocking in those games.
Only good running back on my dynasty team.
I'm only
Thanks, Jake.
One of the few running backs I've got right now for our bragging rights team. And on top of that, too, you have a defense that's able to stop people. Other than that, I mean, yes, Baker Mayfield is not doing well.
Where's this offensive line?
That's the thing. Is you
get out? Bye.
Don't tell our producer to leave. Look, he has not been playing well. He's leading the team. He's leading the league right now in interceptions. All right, that's a big cause for concern. Certainly, I don't put that all on him. I think a lot of that comes from obviously the play calling from Freddie Kitchens.
Needs to go.
He's not the head coach. You should have got somebody who knows how to win. Because when you have a coach who's never done this before, who doesn't know how to be in a winning culture, guess what? Probably not going to work. No. Probably should have hired Bruce Arians. Probably should have stuck with Greg Williams. Probably should have gone with anybody else but the guy that your quarterback said, yeah, I like him. And your GM said, yeah, I can control him. Hey, come on, guys. I don't put this all on Baker. Some of it's on him, yes.
Get an offensive line.
But, yeah, if you didn't trade Kevin Zeitler for Olivier Vernon, who hasn't done anything, by the way. He hasn't done anything in terms of a pass rush. It's all been Myles Garrett. You would be fine. Look at how good that offensive line was last year. He's one of the top 10 offensive guards in the NFL, and you trade him for a maybe veteran pass rusher? I didn't see that.
That defense wasn't even that bad last year.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't see what the upgrade was needed for. I mean, you got a Pro Bowl corner, you got a Pro Bowl defensive end, you've got an underrated linebacker in Joe Schobert. I mean, you've got some really good talent on that team. But this is also what happens when you're an expansion franchise and it's taking you forever to get back to a winning culture. Because remember, these are not our grandfather's Browns. These are our
our Browns.
These are our Browns. These are the expansion franchise.
These are the Browns that I am sick and tired of that team struggling. I want them to succeed.
It's
just
nice
like the Buffalo
win.
Bills and the Buffalo Sabres. I want something good for those teams.
Keep this in mind. This team came in 94, 95. They've had one playoff season in all their time. One playoff season in all their time. So this should be their moment. They could still win the division. It's there for the taking. Pittsburgh's a little off.
Pittsburgh sucks.
But they're still well coached. Don't get that twisted. They're still well coached. And they know how to win. So don't look past them. Ravens, they're looking good, but They're still young, but they know how to win. Bengals don't know how to win.
Bengals don't know how to do anything.
Bengals need a new quarterback, and they need a whole
Just
new
get rid
everything.
of that franchise altogether.
But give us AJ Green. I'd love him. Come on, man. That's a 6'4" wide receiver we could use. Oh, you're just so orange.
Well, they're orange too.
Yeah, I know. Whatever. But I mean, look. Are the Browns exactly who we know them to be? No, I think they're better than what they're showing. But I think a lot has to change in order for this franchise to actually be good. The culture has to change in Cleveland in order for everybody to understand how to get this thing done. And I think the best thing you can do, get rid of Odell Beckham Jr., stick with Jarvis Landry, find another wide receiver. I mean, Antonio Callaway's not bad. Just get David Njoku healthy, run the ball with Nick Chubb, have Baker Mayfield throw 30 passes in a game, call it a day.
I'm okay with the interceptions too. Like,
how are you okay with the interceptions?
Because he's a second-year quarterback. He's got to learn. Let him learn.
Yeah.
He's got to learn an NFL system more. Let him learn. I'm okay with – Nagy said it perfectly. I'm okay with interceptions. Yes, it's going to kill us in the long run, but they're learning examples.
That's the thing, yeah.
They're learning tools.
And and this is also on us too, because obviously we put – not just us, but obviously all media, we put the expectation on the Browns that, Browns are going to the Super Bowl.
I didn't put that on them.
No, not you, but the media, the expectation is playoffs and eventually Super Bowl.
I said playoff team, potential division winner this year.
Right. But that's the thing. We put this pressure on them to say, look, you got to win the playoffs. You got to get into the playoffs. You got to win a playoff game.
Wild card team.
You got to but that's the thing is that as media, we put that pressure on them. And it's obvious they weren't ready for it. But you need a new head coach. You maybe need to trade out that wide receiver that you traded a first and a third for. And consider just going with your basics. Last year, you won 7 games. But it was a strong win. You looked good. This year, everything seems off.
And I want Baker to take my team over again. Even though Matt Ryan's just dominating right now.
That he is. Yes, he is. But I think it can be fixed in Cleveland. I think it certainly can be fixed in Cleveland. It's going to take time. It's going to take new. And honestly, I think John Dorsey might need to go. Like, thanks for the help, John. But at the same time, he doesn't.
The door's right there,
yeah.
Dorsey.
He's one of those. He's one of those guys where it's like talent will always win. Personality, not strong. You need personality.
All right, next topic. I'm getting irritated.
Yeah, I know. Because you just can't stand when we're busting on the Cleveland Browns and you're.
No, I just want success for the Browns.
It'd be nice. It would be nice.
I want success for the Browns. I want success for the Bills, and I want success for the Sabres.
Yeah, but that's
too much to ask for.
Possibly. It just might possibly be a little. You're asking a lot from the sports gods, my friend. You might need to sell your soul for that one.
Fine by me, as long as I get another World Series and 3 more Stanley Cups.
Jesus Christ. God. I think how much is your soul worth, do you honestly think?
Corey Crawford is a Hall of Famer.
Now you're just pushing the limits.
You want to go there?
Now you're just pushing the limits. You want to fight? We can fight.
Let's go!
All right, well, away from the NFL, obviously, like I said, since Tom is here, it's college football time, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, we haven't been able to really talk about it too much, so I tried to do my best on it, but, obviously, since he wasn't here, it's kind of hard because, obviously, this is my college football guy. So we'll do some Week 7 review, kind of talk about how the week went, and then, obviously, get into some Week 8 predictions.
Which one are we going first? Are we going rankings or are we going bowl projections?
I can give the rankings, and then we can give the bowl projections after.
Down.
All right. So
we've been slacking on the bowl projections.
I know. So we'll hit you guys with the rankings first. Now, this is coming from the AP Top 25.
Okay, AP Top 25,
AP
not the
Top
Coaches
25,
Poll.
not the Coaches Poll. Coaches Poll is right next to it. It's obviously a little different, but just hold with me, folks, because the AP Top 25 is usually the one that we use. So here we go. Alabama.
Trash.
By the way, yeah, I know. Here we go. Alabama moved up to number 1 a while back. LSU.
SEC bias, ESPN AP poll.
3 spots.
Stop putting your hands in the pants of the SEC.
Moved up 3 spots to the number 2.
Jesus! God, I hate the SEC.
Take it easy. Moved up to number
Go
2.
on, that was funny, though.
That was pretty good. I like that rant. That was pretty good. Okay. All right, I got this. So LSC's at number LSD.
LSD. They're on LSD. I knew it. They're on drugs.
Stop. LSU is number 2.
Which is gonna change after this weekend because those two play each other.
That's because we're gonna be number 1 actually.
No, get out of here.
Oh, wanna bet? It's gonna be a shootout, baby. Clemson is number 3. They dropped down 1.
They're going down. They're not gonna make the playoffs this year.
That's
They're gonna lose to Virginia in the ACC championship.
You really think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Ohio State is number 4.
Trash,
so
but they'll somehow make a way in because it's Ohio State.
They're a good team, man.
They're
they
still
got a good
trash.
Defense and
They're still trash.
You say everybody's trash. Will you ever give anybody credit?
Yeah, go
that's
through them all. Go through them all. We'll
You're
see where we're
gonna
at.
give one team.
We'll see where
credit.
we're at.
All I'm gonna get from him. All right, so Ohio State moved down 1 to 4. Oklahoma moved up 1 to 5.
Good job, Oklahoma. About time.
Go to hell. Wisconsin moved up 2 to 6.
What trash.
Penn State moved up 3.
They're going to
7.
drop out because I need a win from Michigan this week.
Stop. After that, we've got Notre Dame at number 8, moved up 1 spot.
Here we go. Here we go, boys.
Florida dropped down 2 spots to number 9. Georgia with the biggest... Chill out. Georgia with his biggest drop in the last 5 years, 7 spots to number 10 after taking that loss to South Carolina, which kudos to South Carolina, by the way. That kid, Helinski, is a true freshman and really took that game over. Yes, I know you're not happy about that, but got to give the kid props, man.
That broke the chair.
that kid played outstanding. So Georgia at 10. So that's the top 10 for you. Now we have Auburn moved up 1 to 11. Georgia. Oregon moved up 1 to 11
Ducks.
to 12. Utah is moving up the rankings here.
Hey, boy, Utah, let's go.
5-1. They're at 13. They moved up 2 spots. Boise State.
Oh, I see the blue turf in the bowl game this year. Let's go.
That kid, Bachmeier, that kid's going to be special. I
want to see the blue turf.
14 for
I'm loving
for
the
Boise
blue
State.
turf.
They did not move any spots. Texas, unfortunately,
I called this game, by the way. I called Texas dropping.
Dropped down.
I think
4
Texas
spots.
is done. Texas won't do anything. They're going to drop out of the rankings.
I think they're going to be firing their head coach pretty soon. I mean, I will say this: their quarterback's that kid is special. That kid, Sam Ehlinger, is really good. But that team is losing.
I think Texas drops out of the rankings and doesn't even make a bowl game.
You really think so?
Yeah.
Jeez, no love for the Texas Longhorns from Tom. Michigan at number 16.
Almost blew it against U of I.
Almost blew it against 2 other teams too. Before,
I know.
At the beginning.
By
of
the
the
way,
season.
Michigan fans, I was literally sitting in Michigan area in Notre Dame green, and I got asked why I was wearing Notre Dame green because I'm a Notre Dame fan, and I can't root for U of I because they're trash, and I can't root for Michigan because it's Michigan. God, I hate Michigan.
You're saying it with the M too.
I know. Shut up. I won't be saying it with the M in a couple weeks.
I know.
But I was sort of hoping I would get some Michigan fan going, what are you doing here? You're in the wrong place. Or like, you guys don't even deserve a playoff spot. I'm like, you guys don't even deserve a ranking. Should have almost lost to Army. I was waiting for U of I guy to be like, join a conference, win a game.
Yeah. All right, so that's pretty good. So Arizona State, unbelievable.
Good job, Herm Edwards. Good job.
They moved up 1 in the rankings to number 17. That kid, Jalen Daniels, is these true freshmen, for some reason, they're playing outstanding. I got to give it to them.
All right,
these
next.
freshmen are playing well. Baylor, believe it or not, undefeated.
Good job, Baylor.
Moved up 4 spots.
Congratulations, boys.
Officially in the rankings now at number 18. SMU continues their undefeated streak. This is the first time they are undefeated. I think it's since the 1983.
Good job, SMU.
84
Here we go. I like the young guys coming up.
So they moved up 2 spots to number 19. Minnesota.
This
has
one
surprised-
shocked me.
This one literally
shocked me. This is the sneakiest undefeated team.
I didn't even
out
know
there.
they were undefeated.
That's what I'm saying. The sneakiest undefeated team out there.
That defense, though, man, they look real. Could this be the revival of the Minnesota Gophers?
They're gonna beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game.
Wow. Seriously?
They're gonna beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game.
So you're saying they overpassed Penn State?
Wait, no, Wisconsin's in that.
Yeah. So they have to play.
Yeah,
they-
I'm sticking to it. Ohio State, Minnesota are facing in the Big Ten championship game. Minnesota's going to beat Ohio State for the Big Ten championship.
Wow. Tom with the I swear to God, if you don't put a bet on that and that actually does happen, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's not gonna be good. All right, but yeah, Minnesota found their way in there unbelievably at 6.
But like again, right? Sneakiest undefeated team out there.
Yeah, I did not know that was actually happening with them. Missouri's been looking fantastic. They're 5-1. They moved
Wait, you
in.
skipped a team.
Oh, excuse me, Cincinnati.
Good job, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati moved in. You're just doing this just because I called you out for it. They moved up 4 spots to number 21. That offense looks like it's coming back, so kudos to them. Missouri has been really good. They've been tearing it up.
It's another SEC team.
They were not ranked, but they're 5-1 right now, and they've been playing very well. Iowa, unfortunately, fell 6 spots. They are now 4-2.
Don't lose
They're
to
number
Penn State.
23. It was a hard-fought game, but unfortunately, Penn State, they just played the better game at that point. And then surprisingly,
Michigan doesn't play them this year. You're good. You're good.
I was a little shocked to see this one as well, and I forgot that they moved to D1. Ladies and gentlemen, Appalachian State is number 24 in the nation.
No, they moved out of FCS. They've been always D1.
Have
They
they?
moved it out of FCS.
Oh, that's right, yes. They've been D1, but they were D1 AA. Now they're D1.
No, they're D1 FCS. There's FBS,
Right.
which is Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Alabama.
Yes,
all that. And then there's FCS, which is like Southern Illinois.
But I thought they
Carbondale.
didn't count in these rankings.
No, they don't. But now they're in a conference that is FBS.
Right, so they're Division I single A now.
No, it's FBS.
Why am I feeling confused on this?
Because they don't call them single A and double A. It's FBS and FCS.
Okay, all right, I get you. Look, man, I just know the old school terms, okay?
I like the Coaches Bowl a little bit.
But Appalachian State's in there at number 24, and then you have Washington in there at 5-2 at number 25.
I like the Coaches Poll because it's got Temple at 25.
Yes, in the coaches poll, Temple is in at 25, and in that poll, also Clemson has moved up back to the number 2 spot. LSU moves up 3 spots, and that went to number 3 with Ohio State at 4. So top 4 doesn't change, but that's your rankings for you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Tom, you want to give the Bulls?
Woo! We haven't been here in a while, boys.
No, we have not.
All right, so after this dramatic weekend, you have I got you! Calm down!
Jesus, relax.
You have Banagagarawu. He has
You didn't even try.
Nope. He has in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, he has Clemson versus Oklahoma. Schlierbach got Ohio State versus Oklahoma.
Okay.
Banagagaru in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl has Alabama, Ohio State. Schlierbach got Alabama, Clemson. And in the finals, they both have Alabama, but Banagagaru has Oklahoma, and Schlierbach has Ohio State.
Okay. All right.
The maker, just because this is a local company that sponsors this bowl, I'm going to always say this one. The makers wanted Bahamas Bowl, and I want to go to this one. When are we doing this trip?
When we have the money.
Fine.
Or we get sponsored by them. How about
Fine. Banagagaru has Western Kentucky versus Ohio, and Schlierbach has UAB versus Central Michigan. I really haven't looked to see where our 2 teams are at. I know they're at the bottom. I'm trying to see other Illinois teams maybe,
that? That's fine.
or other crazy
We
ones.
want to make sure to give some home love to those guys.
Yeah, you know.
Which is there any team from Illinois that's doing well? Because I know Northwestern's 1-4 right now. I know Illinois is not doing too hot.
All right, so Schlierbach and Banagagaru both have Boise State in the Cotton Bowl, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl at AT&T
Nice.
Stadium in
I like
Dallas.
that.
Banagagaru has Notre Dame playing Boise State, and Schlierbach has Georgia playing Boise State.
I'd watch either one of those games. I think that would be a great game.
In the Capital One Orange Bowl, Banagagaru has Virginia versus Penn State. Schlierbach has Wake Forest versus Notre Dame.
Ooh, okay.
All right, now go find that other trashy team.
Oh, will you stop it?
All right, the All-State Sugar Bowl, Mercedes-Benz Superdome. They both have the same 2 teams. LSU
course.
versus Texas.
Okay, so a
How
rematch.
Texas is in a New Year's Six bowl bothers me.
Yeah, that's well.
That
brand.
literally Notre Dame is a bigger brand than Texas.
They're of the equal level. Come on, man. Texas brand does sell.
Not like Notre Dame's brand. Not by the fan
It's
support.
up there.
Texas fans do not travel like Notre Dame fans do. LSU's
Yeah,
fans
because it's cold.
do not travel like Notre Dame fans do.
Yeah, 'cause
No
it's cold.
school travels like Notre Dame.
Yeah, because
They all went to Notre Dame, and us that didn't, wishing we would.
Jake just said because they all.
And how am I supposed to root for Northwestern or U of I?
Because that's. We got to get a mic back there. I promise we're going to do that so this way Jake doesn't have to yell through the. Jesus. So angry. All right.
Oh, and the
Is that-
famous
are those the
famous
bowls?
Idaho Potato Bowl that's at the Blue Turfs Bowl, and that's my favorite, one of my favorite
Yeah.
bowl games. Monogahru has Central Michigan versus Hawaii. Schlierbach has Kent State versus Utah State. Any other
Okay.
teams you sort of want to hear?
Ooh,
I like this one. Monogahru,
Mm-hmm.
Citrus Bowl, Georgia versus Minnesota. Schlierbach has Florida versus Penn State.
Ooh, those are both really two
Rose
good
Bowl.
games.
Rose Bowl is
Oh, yeah,
both
Rose Bowl is always good.
both have Oregon versus Wisconsin.
Heck yes. Give me that game. Heck yes.
The Belk Bowl, North Carolina versus Kentucky. They both have it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that would be a good fight.
I got a new favorite bowl game.
Which is?
Tony the Tiger Sun
Yeah,
Bowl.
this is the one I talked about. I changed the name of it to Tony the Tiger.
This is not my favorite. One of my favorite bowl games.
What's the
Miami
prediction on it?
USC for Monogahru. Schlierbach has Virginia, California.
All right, but whoever wins that game, I need the MVP of that game to be able to hold up that box and say they're great. I need to hear that. If you don't give me that, we got a problem. Any others you got to give us?
The
Before
New
we do
Era
some predictions?
Pinstripe Bowl, Duke versus Nebraska for Monogahru, and Schlierbach's got Pittsburgh versus Michigan State.
Okay.
I'm trying to see. There are no Illinois teams anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Illinois teams have not been doing too hot.
The Celebration Bowl, they both have North Carolina A&T versus Elkhorn State. That's a game I don't watch.
Why not?
I watch as many college football games during bowl season as I can. I
Yeah.
physically watch games while I'm at work.
And some of them are fun to watch. I mean, some of them get very interesting.
Yeah, so I literally watch as many as I can. Like, one game goes to halftime, I flip on to the next game. So I'm watching as many as I can, folks. So when that season comes around, I will give my best. The Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl. I just love the name of that bowl.
That is great.
They both have UCF. Monogahru has UCF versus Syracuse. Schlierbach has UCF versus Western Kentucky.
I feel bad for them. They play so hard, and yet they just can't seem to get it done this year for some reason.
Where's another one? Oh, the Cheez-It Bowl. Monogahru has Kansas State versus Stanford. Schlierbach has Texas Tech versus USC.
I like that matchup. Texas Tech USC is a good one. I like that matchup.
Any other ones? Any teams?
They
They got Indiana in the Redbox Bowl.
Do they really?
Yeah, Monogahru has Indiana versus Arizona State. Schlierbach has Indiana versus Washington.
I see. I like me some Arizona State. I like the way that Arizona State plays this year.
Yeah.
I might if they can get in there, I might watch that. You know, I don't know if Indiana's gonna win that game, but you never know.
Ooh, Valero Alamo Bowl.
Alamo Bowl is always good. What do they got for that?
Both have Baylor versus Utah.
That's interesting. I like that. That's an interesting matchup.
Outback Bowl. Last one, and then we'll go on to the other.
Okay.
Monogahru has Florida versus Iowa.
Oh.
And Schlierbach has Auburn versus Minnesota.
Oh. Ooh, that. I'm going to tell you right now, I got Iowa or Minnesota winning either one of those games. I don't think Florida or Auburn are coming out of either one of
Here's
those.
one. Mobile, Alabama Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
They both have Toledo versus Appalachian State.
I really think Appalachian State might be sneaky good.
Mm-hmm.
That team is fast, man.
I think they're
going to
be in a different bowl.
That
Now,
team-
obviously, that's week 7 predictions.
Yeah.
We'll see where they're at.
I mean, yeah, we've still got a lot of football to play, ladies and gents. We're only halfway through the season, so there's still a lot more to go. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna round this one out. We're gonna give the predictions for the week 8. You ready to do this, man?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's hit it. So, first one, I mean, these are the top 25, so bear with us. We're just gonna rip through these really fast. You got number 4, Ohio State playing Northwestern. What do you got, man?
Ohio State.
But how much you feeling on it? Right now, they're favored by 28.5 points.
It is at Northwestern.
And teams have been upset there before. They've been.
I
able
think
to pull it off.
Northwestern might pull this out, but I don't think they will. I think it might be a blowout by Ohio State, but I think Ohio State's going to go into this game. I think their bye's next week.
I think so.
I think Ohio State. No, they play Wisconsin the week after. I think they're going to be looking at that
really?
game. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say definitely Ohio State. I don't know if 28.5 points. I'm going to give it to 21. That's what I'm going to say.
I think
Ohio
they're going to be
State.
looking ahead to Wisconsin, so I think they could be upset.
Yeah, it's ever possible. If that happens, thank God. All right, next you got number 2 LSU against Mississippi State.
Oh, that's not this week. That's next week is the Alabama.
Oh, the Alabama. Yeah, the
Auburn.
Alabama LSU game is in. Yeah,
Okay.
that's coming.
I
up.
was wrong.
Yeah, so LSU versus Mississippi State. Who you got? 18.5 point favorites for LSU.
I'm sorry, dude, but I think Mississippi State could upset them.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about too.
It's in Mississippi State. That's
Look,
the
I
issue.
like Joe Burrow. I think that dude should, for all the recognition he's getting for the Heisman Trophy, I think he deserves it. He's been playing fantastic, but Mississippi State, man, that team scares me every time because they always got scary defenses no matter what. They find a way to get to the quarterback, and I'm afraid they might put him down and hurt him. So, but I'm going to give it to LSU. I'm going to say 14-point difference on that one. So I'm going to give them that. All right, next we got number 3 Clemson against Louisville. Who you got for
Clemson.
that one? Clemson, really?
Yeah.
By how much you figured?
2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns? All right. Clemson's favored by 24 points. I'm going to give the, you know what? I'll go with the 2 touchdowns for Clemson. They're just, at this point, they're just too good. They're running over everybody. But Louisville, they're not doing too bad. They're 4-2, so never get past them either. They might be able to upset the defending national champs.
How about me?
All right, so next we've got West Virginia against number 5 Oklahoma. Oklahoma's favored by 34 points. What are you feeling on this one?
They still don't play defense in the Big 12, right?
No, they do not.
Oklahoma by 50.
By 50. Okay. Keep in mind the over-under for this game is 63. I think it's going to go higher. I think it's going to be like in the 70s. I really do. Because here's the thing. West Virginia, they got an air raid offense just like Oklahoma. So I'm thinking it's going to be like 80-plus points in this one. But I got Oklahoma winning it by like 4 touchdowns. All right, next we've got number 6 Wisconsin at Illinois. What are you feeling? I mean, you just saw them play. May have only been one half of a game, but what are you feeling for this one, Tom?
Wisconsin by million? Can that happen?
The over-under is 51, so keep
Wisconsin's
it at that.
literally just going to run over them. And if they just run the ball every play and don't stop running the ball, they'll win this game by a million.
Keep in mind, Jonathan Taylor, the running back for Wisconsin, already has 14 rushing touchdowns.
He's
so
going to have 20 by the end of this game.
by the end of the game?
Yeah.
It's possible. It's really possible.
20 more on top of that.
Wisconsin.
He's going to have 54.
He's just going to annihilate the record.
Yeah.
Wisconsin's
Or 34,
favored by
my bad. I did my math wrong.
Wisconsin's favored by 31 points. I think that's right. I think they're going to blow them out by like 31 for sure. All right, next we've got number 9 Florida against South Carolina. What are you feeling?
Where's number 7 team's not playing this week?
I
know number 18 is not playing this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Well, I'm just going in order by ESPN.com. So
It's primetime game.
I'm asking Florida versus.
You were going in
South
order
Carolina.
of rankings.
No, I wasn't going in order. Well, that's just the way it was playing. It wasn't going in order of rankings. I was just going.
No, you went 4, and then you went 2, 3.
What are we looking at here?
I'm looking at the same thing.
I'm looking at ESPN scores. What are you looking at?
Schedule.
Oh, well, I'm not looking at schedule. I'm looking at the scores for next week.
Okay.
For
Well,
the
let me get to
matchup.
the same schedule then.
All right.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. So, Florida, South Carolina, what are you feeling? Keep in mind, Florida's favored by 5 points in this game. That's it.
Florida by 3.
Florida by 3, really?
Yeah.
I'm going to say South Carolina with another upset.
And if you're going in order, you skipped one.
What did I skip? I said Wisconsin. I said, which one did I skip?
Oh, you don't have it up there.
Oh, my God. Stop confusing
No,
me.
I have Oregon, Washington at the top. Oh, that's my favorite. I like Oregon.
Oh,
That's
okay. Yeah, see, there you go. South Carolina, I got them as an upset against Florida. I think they can beat them by like 10 points. So I'm taking South Carolina on the upset. All right, number 11, Auburn against Arkansas. What are you feeling?
Auburn.
Auburn?
Does Arkansas even play football?
Oh, yeah, they do.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they
That
do.
state's just
They're just
terrible
not playing
state.
very well.
That state, terrible!
You're just mad because of that whole thing.
Yeah, makes no sense.
All right. I got Auburn winning that one. Next, we've got number 23, Iowa at Purdue.
Purdue.
I got Purdue as not Purdue. I've got Iowa in that one. So you taking the upset?
Yeah.
Alrighty. All right. Next, we've got number 12 Oregon against number 25 Washington. What are you feeling? Oregon. By how much?
By 2 touchdowns.
Alrighty. I got them by another touchdown, and we'll find another good one here. Let's give it to Appalachian State. What do you got for that one against UL Monroe?
Appalachian State.
Alrighty. And ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have to wrap this on up really quickly. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Tom, where can they find you, man?
At McLovin6193 on Instagram and Twitter.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You can find me at The Fluffy Guru on Instagram and on Twitter. You guys can find me at Boom Crew Captain on Instagram. If you guys want to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You guys can find all that information down below. Make sure to email us your questions. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be exiting out of here real quick. So thank you all so much for watching. And as always, much love and peace out, Boom Crew.